over this past weekend was the D23 Disney Expo, which, if you are a Disney fan, that's a really big deal because that is where they announce everything the Disney company has planned for the next multiple years. The first day of the expo was Friday, and the theme of that day I felt like was just movies. We have some sequels. We have a couple originals. I would love to see more original movies. I know that's always kind of like a hot topic with people. A couple Marvel movies. I like Captain America a lot. He's like, him and Iron Man are my favorites, so I'll probably see that one. I'm not a huge Marvel fan, but I like Captain America. And then we have some live actions, Snow White and Lilo and Stitch. So I'll ask you, what are your thoughts of this list first?
Great, I guess. I don't think we need a Toy Story 5. I think it is time to let it be done and let it be the beautiful thing that it was. I'm not even really sure we needed 4 of them. I probably could have gotten rid. Which one was Forky? Was that 3 or 4?
That was 4. Yes. 3 wasn't that where he gave his toys away? Wasn't that Toy Story 3 at the end?
Maybe. And whichever one was where they were like in the incinerator at the end and we thought they were all going to get like burned up and we were all crying. Anyway, I think we could have left it there. I love Toy Story. I think it's so imaginative and great. And from the get-go, I was like, what a brilliant story. Because as a kid, I did pretend that, what if my Barbies like hang out with each other when I'm gone at school? Or, I always had those little kid fantasies, but I don't think we need a 5. For the Marvel movies, you know me, I don't need to see any Marvel movies because to me, it's always the same formula. Something bad happens, they call everybody together, and then it's a half-an-hour battle scene at the end. I don't care. Come for me in the comments. I don't get it. My husband's fanatic about it. I just don't understand. Lilo and Stitch live action, I don't know if we needed that. Think about that one.
That one freaks me out a little bit. I guess I saw the preview of what Stitch looks like, and he doesn't look as scary as what, like, I saw live action. I was like, oh my gosh, that's gonna be terrifying. I guess I don't really feel strongly one way or the other. The Snow White, it sounds interesting too. I don't know how I feel about that one either. There are some live actions I loved. Like, I loved The Beauty and the Beast. That was one of my favorites.
I think there's a generational gap too, because I think, I still completely grew up in the era of the animated. There was a time in my childhood where it was like Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, Lion King, Tarzan, like boom, boom, boom. Every year we'd have a brand new animated film. And everybody, this really ages me because Alexis is actually probably closer in age to my stepdaughter than she is to me, whatever. But Sophia's the same way. Like, she really loves the live actions. She's totally down for those. And I'm like, I don't need a live action. The original animated Beauty and the Beast is, in my mind, is perfect. And, so I think my generation is like, why do we need live actions? They were all perfect as they are. But I think the younger generations really get into the live actions. So, that's fine. I mean, I'm not some boomer that's like, why do we need to do all that? It's not my thing. So.
Yeah. I read this one thing or saw it. I don't know if it's accurate or not, but like, I don't know if it was Walt's plan or Disney's plan, but like there was somewhere where like the original animated movies were like for a certain generation, and then the next generation was the remakes, and then the next generation is the live actions of the remakes. And so I don't know if that's accurate, but I mean, it makes sense, I guess, because every time they announce a live action, they're like, why can't we get original movies? Like, I always see people like throwing fits about that, and like, why can't we get like more? And I agree with that, but sometimes the live actions are pretty good. I mean, I haven't loved every live action, but I don't know. Lilo and Stitch freaks me out a little bit. Snow White, I'm not completely thrown away with that one, but yeah, that's kind of my thoughts.
I was talking. Oh, go ahead.
No, sorry, go ahead. I was gonna change. I was talking about a different movie.
I was actually, when I think about a live action Lilo and Stitch, in my mind, I was just like, what's Stitch gonna look like? How are you live actioning that? And I spoke to Freddie, and he was like, well, they've live actioned like Lion King and other animals. And I was like, wait, but those are actual, like, well, you can take
not
a video of an actual like lion, and then you can CGI and stuff. But like Stitch is like, how do we? So I don't know. I mean, maybe it'll be awesome. I mean, I probably won't see that one because, as you know, sorry everybody, I hate Stitch. But no, I'm interested to see how it looks.
Yeah, me too. And even like And everybody at Stitch's world, now that I'm thinking about that movie, they're all like that one skinny tall dude with the skinny face. He's an alien. I don't know his name. And then there's another alien. I don't know how you make any of those live action, but we'll see.
Like, will it be CGI completely, or will it be somebody in, like, you know, the body bag?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm very curious to see how that's all done in the end. But I don't know, to go back to like what you were saying, I totally think you're right. And I do think, and that's why, like, I don't get upset about the live actions, because it's the future, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's okay. Like, change is good, everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do miss because I think there's still tons of original, you know, kind of like fairy tale-ish things that could be made into, or like, you know, Moana, that came out of the blue, and like, what a cool original concept, you know. Same for all the ones coming out lately, and Kanto, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like we are getting new stories. They're just mixing them in like everything else in Hollywood remakes and stuff. So it's okay.
Definitely. Your thoughts on Toy Story? I totally agree. I don't think we need any more Toy Stories. However, I will say, so I don't know, did you watch the trailer for this one?
No.
Okay. Well, the theme of Toy Story 5 is toy versus tech. So, like, technology is supposed to, like, take over the toys, which that does intrigue me a little bit. So, every other, like, Toy Story 3 and 4, I don't think I could, I saw them, but I, like, was not super excited that they were happening. But I will say that, like, this concept of, like, throwing technology in with the toys, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. There's another movie I was going to talk about. Oh, Moana. Yes, I'm excited for that one. I loved the first Moana.
Me too.
Freakier Friday, that was, like, the first one was, like, that's, like, one of my favorite 2000s movies ever. But I'm a little skeptical about the second one, because it's made, like, I don't know how many years later, and sometimes they're just not as good. And I know that Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee is in it again. Yep. I just don't know. I don't know. Like, sometimes they're just not as good that many years later. We'll see, though.
I mean, I feel like, since I'm glad you said early 2000s or whatever movie, because I slept right through that. Like, I was graduating college, starting life, and I never even saw it. I've never seen it to this day.
Oh my gosh, you need to watch that. It's actually really good.
Yeah, I feel like I do. So I'm not, like, opposed to watching it. I think it was just life was happening, and I never did. So
right. Mufasa, The Lion King, I'm really excited for that one. I feel like that one, like, we don't know Mufasa's story, so that one seems kind of interesting.
Is that one going to be live action or animation? I'm really pulling for animation, actually.
Oh, that's a good question. I kind of feel like it's live action, because I think I've seen some trailers for it. Yeah, it's live action.
Okay. I mean, good either way. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool to get a backstory on Mufasa. It's pretty neat, because obviously there's a whole bunch with Scar that we never heard about. You know, like, there's a whole story there that got them to where they are. So
exactly.
Yeah, interesting to see young Mufasa and all that.
Do you have any from the list that you are looking forward to the most?
I mean, everybody don't kill me. Know if we need a Frozen 3. What do you feel about that one?
Yeah, I thought the first one was super good. I remember that one coming out, and the ending, like, was like a complete twist of, like it wasn't what most normal Disney movies are. And I remember everyone, like, freaking out, like, oh my gosh, it's so good. And I agree. Yeah. And I saw Frozen 2, and I thought that one was good too. I feel like it's just, at this point, they're like, Frozen is doing so good, just like Toy Story so good. We're gonna keep making stories. Yeah. It's not one that I really am super excited for. I did also really like Zootopia. There were so many, like, things in that movie that were really funny, and, like, a lot of, like, adult jokes in Zootopia.
Yeah, and just the whole thing is super creative. Yeah, yes. I thought so too.
And so I am excited for a second one of that, but I don't know.
Well, and plus they got to do a second one to keep the interest going, because now that they're going to put Zootopia in Animal Kingdom, like, I feel like it goes hand in hand. They need something that's a little newer for the kids to be excited about when they first come there or whatever.
Right. I am kind of shocked they're not doing another Monsters, Inc., because I know they did Monsters University, but we don't have another
which was
Inc. movie.
I loved Monsters University.
Me
I
too.
thought it was so cute. And I mean, I love those characters. I know you and I both love Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. Like, it's just so cute. So yeah, I'd be all for another Monsters Inc., especially with the new Monsters Inc. stuff coming into Hollywood studios.
Oh, Incredibles 3. I don't know. I loved the first one, but they made the second one, again, The first Incredibles was like, I remember that coming out in the early 2000s too. And then when they made the second one, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I have to go see that because it's was so many years later. And now they're making a third one. I'm like, okay, I don't know. Like, the second one was good, but it wasn't as good as the first one. So I'm kind of skeptical about that.
I mean, here's how I feel in general about making multiples in the same franchise. When the first one's amazing, I can handle a second one. Usually they're pretty good. Typically a third one, I don't care about. There's one exception to that for me, and that is Back to the Future. Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. That is the perfect trilogy, everybody. That is amazing. I can watch it at least once a year, all 3 of them in a row. I usually do. But up in that, like, and honestly, once you're past 3, we don't need a 4th or 5th of anything. I really believe that.
Yeah.